Bonjour, bienvenue, les daciers. Yeah, that's right. The horrible accent indicates we're going to get all French up in here today. We're going to talk about Opinel Knives, a company that I really love. I really love the utter, complete, total simplicity of their products. Just an amazing, timeless design. Company was started in 1890. And they looked kind of like this. There's been one major change along the way we'll get to in a minute, but other than that, and even that change happened a really long time ago. Just very, very cool knives. And if you're a knife collector and you have an Opinel, I don't know what's up with you. I really don't. I mean, they're cheap as chips, and they are just amazing, and they're cool, and they're part of knife history, and you should definitely have at least one in your collection. I'm up to 4 now. I'll bring the other one in a moment, but they are just super cool. I was really debating how to do this video. I thought about doing it all in French, and then I was made aware that I don't speak French, so that was out. And then I thought about doing it all in a ridiculous French accent because I enjoy talking like this. It amuses me. But then I was reminded that I go to France sometimes, and I might not want to cause an international incident. So we're just gonna do it straight. We're just gonna do it straight and normal. But I do have at least one that's slightly unique, so I hope you guys find this interesting. As I said, they were started in 1890. The big change that came along in the 50s, they came up with this Viro block. We'll do it here with the number 8. The Viro block is basically this little twist collar. See, right now it's unlocked. It's not, you can't even call it a slip joint. There's nothing catching. There's no spring whatsoever. This is just wood, some stamped metal, and a blade. And then to lock it, you just twist this little piece of metal, and now it won't close. Genius. So cool, so great. Actually, in the 80s, and I did get this off the Opinel website, I will admit, in the 80s, they were given an award by the Victoria and Albert Museum as one of the best designs ever. And this wasn't just like knife designs, this was just best designs. Other winners were like the Porsche 911 and the Rolex watch. And I think I looked at the list, there was like the stand-up refrigerator. There was a bunch of, it wasn't just the best knife design, just one of the best designs ever, period. And you know what? I can't really argue with that. It's cheap, it's simple to make, it's a very useful, cool knife. And they come in a million different varieties. I've only got 3 different ones here. This is a number 10 with a 4-inch blade. This is a number 8 with like a 3.3-inch blade, and a number 7 with a slightly under 3-inch blade. But they go all the way down. There's like, the number 2 little keychain knife's got like a 1.25-inch blade. You can get it, as you can see, in different wood handles, which is the most popular and the ones that I would recommend. Or you can get it in a slightly more modern with, synthetic handles. You can buy them in sets. If you just want to, they're all numbered. As you said, number 10, this is number 8, number 7, obviously there's number 9, and number 6, and blah, blah, blah. There's a whole bunch of them. You can just buy a set and have an instant collection. And even buying the set isn't that ridiculous. I've seen the sets of them with many, many knives, and I think 7 or 8 knives, and they're like $150, and you get the whole thing, and you have an instant Opinel collection, which is pretty awesome. I've built mine over time, I guess, my whole 4. As I said, I do have these 3. I will talk about them in a moment, but first of all, I want to show the one that's not, why it's not on here. It's not completely camera ready. This is the first one I had. This is also a number 8, and my dog got to it, chewed it up. As you can see, there's some marks on it, and I had to hack some wood off and sand it down and put some mineral oil on it to kind of retreat it. But that's what's nice about Opinel. It does not affect the functionality of the knife whatsoever. There's nothing to break on these things. I mean, my dog chewed it up, and I just said, oh crap, because I paid, I think, like $14 for this. They are so cheap. A number 8 is right now like this. Let me tell you exactly what I paid for the red one, because that's the most recent one that I purchased. I want to make sure that I have it right here. I'm on the site where we got, yeah, this was $18.50, and the red ones are a bit more expensive. So in the plain old, this beechwood handle, they are like $15. They're super cheap. You can find them at lots of places. REI is where I get mine usually, because they have some different ones. The red one's kind of hard to find other than a REI, as is the number 10. This number 10 is very easy to find, but not this particular one, because this has a corkscrew in it, which I think is just, how French do you get? That's just awesome. And yeah, they're endlessly modifiable because you can stain the wood. They come in two different blade steels. The Enox, which is actually 1C. Let me make sure I have that correct. 1C27 Sandvik stainless is the long name for it, but they call it Enox. It's a stainless steel blade. Or you can get them in the carbon steel. That's what my number 7 is. And the carbon is high carbon steel. It will patina. But mine hasn't much yet. But so you can choose your adventure. But yeah, anywho, get down to the individual ones. I like the corkscrew one. This is the biggest one. It is the 4-inch blade. This most of the time lives in my kitchen drawer, or whenever I go camping, I definitely take it with me because it's got a corkscrew. Got to have that. And it's just a great food prep knife. All of these are great food prep knives. They are so slicey. The blade shape on all the Opinels, I'm going to use this one because it's the biggest and easiest to see. Kind of a clip point, a flat grind. It's very, 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 very slicey. They are very thin. These aren't heavy duty, crazy, Hackett stuff knives. They just aren't. But they're great for those general kind of tasks. And as I said, this knife I love for camping because I just use this as my food prep knife. Whenever I start cooking at a campsite, this is the only one I use. Just a great, great, great design. I really do love their blade. Their blade is just so awesome for food prep. I use it constantly. And also this one if I'm up eating in my office, as I'm often stuck doing because I'm busy doing other stuff, the one that my dog chewed up, lives in my drawer. And it's been a steak knife. It's not a great butter knife, but it's been a butter knife when it's had to be. It's just a great knife, and I use it, opening letters, all that kind of stuff. This knife gets a whole lot of use, but it just kind of lives in my desk drawer. It's not something I carry because it's chewed up, but I could. It's fine. I sanded it down. It's all nice and smooth. I could have done more and completely gotten rid of the dog bite marks, but you know what? Someday that dog's not going to be with me anymore, so I thought I'd leave him. I'm a sentimental fool, I guess, but someday I'll be happy that it has those dog bite marks in it. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. Let's look at a pristine number 8. The number 8 is probably the one that everyone will tell you to get. It is their most popular. Again, I said it is we're looking at a 3.35 inch blade. So very good size blade, just about the right size for everything you need. And all these are super light. This is 1.7 ounces. Even the corkscrew one, let me make sure I got this right again on my notes. Yeah, even the corkscrew one, the giant corkscrew, 4-inch blade and a corkscrew is only 2.8 ounces. So they're all extremely light. And the number 8 is just, it's the best kind of meet in the middle, EDC sort of. No matter how big your hands are, the handle's big enough that you're going to have enough room. But it's not so big that it's hard to carry. Obviously, there's no pocket clips or anything. They didn't think of pocket clips in 1890 or 1955 when they updated the lock. So, and they're not changing anything. They're sticking with it. And that's fine with me. I love that about the French. I used to have a Peugeot 505 Turbo, and none of the buttons were in the right spot. And I loved that about it. Because if anybody borrowed my car, they couldn't figure out how anything worked, and it made me laugh. So, yeah, I like the crazy Frenchness about them. There's just that stick-to-itiveness that they're just, nope, either way, we want to change it. And it's fine with me. Now, my favorite that I own, and we'll end on this one probably. My favorite that I own is the number 7. And this is the carbon steel one. I like it because theoretically it will patina. It's only just kind of started. I don't take particularly great care of it. I've only had this one for about, 6-7 months. But I do use it a fair bit. I have a number 7, and this is my favorite because it fits my hands fine. So that's good. And also, my grandfather carried a number 7, and he passed away when I was 13, but I worshipped that guy enough to remember that he carried an Opinel number 7 when I went to go buy one. And he was the toughest, hardest working son of a bitch I ever met in my life. And if a number 7 was big enough for him, then it's big enough for me. So this is the one I carry the most. As you can see, it's the one with, theoretically these are the same wood, but this one has definitely changed color a lot more. But I do. Opinel is just awesome, guys. I'm not the first one to say this. I'm sure this has been beating everybody's head, but buy an Opinel. Like, just get one of them. You can. You're gonna find something you like. The ones I'm tempted by right now are the number 2 little keyring size one. I'm kind of tempted by that, and then also I kind of want to get a Trekker model. The Trekker models have a hole drilled through here, and they've got a little catch on them, so you can put a lanyard on them or tie them to your your backpack or something like that. I'm kind of tempted by one of those. Maybe in a more exotic wood. They do make them in a lot of crazy woods and things like that. But yeah, and I'm tempted by just getting the whole damn set. And I'm tempted by they make just fixed blade kitchen knives too, and I'm tempted by a set of those. Opinel is just an amazing company, and definitely look into it. I mean, it was good enough for my grandfather, and he didn't even like French people, and he still carried one. So, because I remember referred to it as his Frenchy knife, but he really liked it. I remember he had said he used to carry something else. I don't remember what it was, a buck something or other, I think, and he liked this better. So they're just traditional and cool, and so much history in them. And you can kind of, I know this sounds sappy and stupid, but you can really feel the history in an Opinel. You just kind of can. I I like things that are old and still work well. I use a 1938 Royal Aristocrat typewriter all the time. And I love that it's from 1938 and it still works fine. Granted, it was new old stock when I got it a few years ago. I don't know how my wife found it. It sat around for what, since 1938, and she got it. It sat around for a lot of years, what, 70 years or something like that in storage. And then some guy bought a batch of them that were new old stock and cleaned them up, and now I have it and it works perfectly. And I love that something that old still works that well, and it's that way with Opinel too. They're still making them, but the design is still a very old design that works perfectly, and they are cheap. Let's just look at, for instance, the number 8 is the most popular one, so we'll use that for example. About 15 bucks. All the history you're buying for 15 bucks. Where else can you buy that much history for 15 bucks? I just think that's amazing. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and if you don't have an Opinel, frickin' go get one. You will like it. Skip lunch at Chipotle and go buy an Opinel. That is my advice to you. Maybe you could stand to lose the weight anyway. But I've been Brian. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Salut! Whatever the French say, I don't remember. But go buy an Opinel. Have a good day.